I need to see identification. Now, officer, what's this about? My wallet's in my back pocket. I'm reaching slowly. Your hands where I can see them. They are. I'm not resisting.
What's your name?
Lieutenant Robert Klotz, badge number 4827. Call my precinct. They'll confirm.
You expect me to believe that?
I'm standing still. I'm cooperating. There's no reason for this.
Turn around. Hands behind your back. Spots crossing. Spots above guy.
Officer, I am a sworn police lieutenant. You're making a mistake.
We'll verify.
There's no probable cause for detaining me.
Stop arguing.
I'm not resisting. I told you who I am.
The body cam was already recording. Bright afternoon sun, gas station pumps humming, traffic passing in the background, and the officer stepping out of his patrol vehicle had absolutely no idea that the man he was about to put his hands on had spent 16 years serving in law enforcement. The man standing beside the black pickup truck wasn't nervous. He wasn't reaching for anything. He wasn't acting suspicious. He was Lieutenant Robert Klotz, Phoenix Police Department, badge number 4827. And within the next 7 minutes, a confrontation that never should have happened would turn into a $20.5 million federal lawsuit. Before we get into what happened, drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from. City, state, country, and if you believe no one is above the Constitution, not even police officers, hit that subscribe button, because this story only escalates from here. It was 3:18 p.m. on a Thursday. Lieutenant Robert was off duty. He had just finished fueling his truck and was standing near the pump checking his phone. That's it. No disturbance, no suspicious movement, no complaint from the store clerk. But a call had come in. Suspicious male lingering near vehicles. The description? Black male, medium build. That was enough. Officer Terrence Maez had been on the force for 6 years. He responded quickly. The body cam shows Terrence approaching with purpose. Hey, papers, identification, now. Robert looks up slowly. Officer, what's this about? I need your documentation. We're doing an investigation. My wallet's in my back pocket. I'm reaching slowly. Keep your hands visible. They are visible. Tension already in the air. What's your name?
Lieutenant Robert Klotz, Phoenix PD. My badge is in my truck. There's a pause. Terrence smirks slightly. Sure you are. Everyone's got a story. Robert doesn't react emotionally. Badge 4827. Called my precinct. They'll verify. We'll verify that downtown. That's when the tone shifts, because Robert knows something important. He's not legally required to provide immigration documentation. He's not required to produce ID absent reasonable suspicion of a crime, and he certainly hasn't committed one. Officer, Robert says calmly, what specific crime am I suspected of? You're being detained. Turn around. For what? For investigation. What investigation? The body cam captures the shift in Terrence's posture. His voice gets sharper. Stop arguing and turn around. I'm not arguing. I'm asking for the legal basis of this stop. That's when Terrence steps forward and grabs Robert's arm. The camera jolts. Hands behind your back. I'm not resisting, Robert says, trying to maintain balance. I told you I'm a police lieutenant. You're resisting right now. No, I'm not. The struggle isn't dramatic. It's fast. Hayes isn't throwing punches. He's not attempting to flee. He's trying to keep his footing while being forced against his own truck. A bystander can be heard faintly. He said he's an officer. Terrence pushes Robert hard against the vehicle. The metal thuds loudly. Stop moving. I'm not moving. Backup arrives. One of the responding officers asks quietly, what's he being detained for? Failure to provide documentation. Klotz, still controlled despite being restrained, says clearly, check my truck. My department ID is in the center console. There's hesitation. One officer walks to the truck, opens the door. Seconds later. Terrence? There it is. Official Phoenix Police Department identification. Photo, badge number, department seal. Silence. The body cam captures it, that exact moment where everything shifts. Terrence's breathing changes. Take the cuffs off, a supervisor says when he arrives moments later. Hayes stands upright once released, wrists red, shirt wrinkled, composure intact.
"I told you who I was," he says calmly. No yelling, no threats, just facts. Here's what makes this case different. Lieutenant Robert had training, he had knowledge, he had credentials, and even with all that, he was shoved against his truck and restrained based on a vague description and an assumption. Imagine someone without a badge. The internal investigation began within 48 hours. Bodycam footage reviewed, dispatch audio examined, the original caller interviewed, the suspicious behavior described looked out of place. That was it. No crime reported, no attempted theft, no disturbance. Just a feeling. The department's internal affairs report later concluded that Officer Terrence lacked reasonable suspicion to detain Robert. Worse, the use of force was deemed unnecessary and disproportionate. But the civil lawsuit is where the real consequences came. Filed in federal court, claims included unlawful detention, excessive force, violation of Fourth Amendment rights, equal protection violations, racial profiling. The complaint cited body cam timestamps down to the second. At 00 minutes 1.12 seconds, no articulable suspicion. At 002 minutes 08 seconds, physical escalation. At 003 minutes 41 seconds, discovery of credentials. The city attorney's office reviewed the footage. They knew the optics were bad, but this wasn't about optics. It was about constitutional standards. Legal experts who reviewed the footage publicly stated that the detention failed at the Stephen J. Schaefer standard for reasonable suspicion. And once force was applied without legal basis, liability increased significantly. The case didn't quietly disappear. The footage leaked. It spread across social media within days, millions of views, national headlines, off-duty black lieutenant detained by fellow officer. Internal bias questioned after bodycam release. Public pressure mounted. Community leaders demanded transparency. Civil rights groups got involved. And the data review revealed something else. Over 3 years, stops disproportionately involved black males at a rate nearly 3 times the departmental average. That data mattered, because in civil litigation, patterns matter. 9 months later, the city reached a settlement, $20.5 million. No admission of wrongdoing in the settlement language, but the number speaks loudly. $20.5 million. Policy reforms followed. Revised stop and detain protocols, mandatory bias auditing, enhanced de-escalation training, supervisor review for discretionary detentions. Officer Terrence was placed on extended administrative leave pending final employment review. Lieutenant Robert returned to duty. In a brief statement, he said, "This was never about me. It was about ensuring constitutional protections apply equally to everyone." That line resonated, because if a seasoned lieutenant can be restrained based on assumption, what happens to those without training, without knowledge, without institutional backing? That's the bigger conversation. So here's my question to you. Do you think $20.5 million was enough? Should there be additional consequences beyond financial settlements? Drop your thoughts below. And if stories like this matter to you, if accountability matters, make sure you're subscribed. Because the camera doesn't lie, and sometimes it changes everything.